Welcome back everyone, got this lovely Bianchi in the stand today, in for a full service, and it's also in for a repair on the Derailleur, as you'll see. So this bit here is supposed to be here, as you probably already know. So it looks like it's been in the spokes at some point, ripped the hanger in half, and it's also twisted the derailleur. So we've got a new hanger, new derailleur, obviously new cables. Rest of the bike, brake cables, new chain, all gear cables, some fresh white bar tape. This is not too bad, but it's not been very well wrapped at the top, so it's going to come off and be replaced. The first issue is getting this undone. So it's not actually clamped in the stand at the moment, it's just hanging on the saddle, because this is seized. So that's the first job before we do anything, get this out. I'm actually filming this bit 2 weeks prior to the video you're watching. I need to order a hanger, and this screw here is stuck solid, so that's not good. Normally this Junior gets these out really well because it's got a lovely flat end on it, but even that's struggling on this. It's not quite stripped yet, but it's not far off. So I'm going to put this wearer bit in here and tap it in. It's going to clear out any rubbish first though. And you're going to get one shot at this. So I've just ordered a rear derailleur for this 10-speed Veloz. Wow, they're expensive. Hey, nice bike, so it's worth doing. Well, hitting this is obviously going to make sure it's seated properly and also potentially shock the bolt slightly loose as well. That's the theory, anyway. It's only a little tiny bolt there. I'm not hitting this very hard, by the way, I'm literally just tapping it. And then pray to the derailleur hanger god so you can get this off. Take your time. Moving. Beautiful. Disaster averted. So there's about 3 different versions of this one hanger, just for this frame, so I'm just going to take my time and make sure I order the right one. Well, the bit is still attached to the derailleur. The derailleur's got a bit of a twist in it. I thought we were going to get away with it, but I don't think we will. Oh, that's tight. It's pretty tatty anyway, so let's get a new one on there. Like I say, it's a lovely frame, so it's definitely worth getting this back on the road the way it should be. I'm hoping there's some markings on here, but I'll have a look and get one ordered, but yeah, that's dead. That's what's left of it. A very weak point on there. I mean, obviously these are designed to break, but wow, that's literally hardly anything holding that on there. That's it. That's this little join here. Once that's gone, ba-ding! Got a massive bend in it as well. Alright, let me see if I can find one of these, because like I say, there's at least 3 different versions just on one website. So I'm pretty sure it's this one here. These pictures are normally super accurate. They really are very, very good. So that's definitely that bit there. And if you have a look at the back, it's this profile here you want to be looking at really carefully. And that definitely matches that one there as well, exactly. Obviously we've got a 2-part hanger, and we've got this little flat piece here, so it's definitely the right hanger. However, there's still 3 choices, even on that one hanger. There's no threaded holes on this. Hanger with non-threaded holes, hanger with M3. So I'm going for non-threaded, because there's no threads in the actual hanger. It threads into the frame. Right, it's on the way. Like I say, this is seized, pretty much solid. I'm going to tap it with this 4mm at the moment. Sometimes that's all it needs, is just a bit of a tap just to shock it loose, really. So let's go see how that goes. Wow, that's tight. Flipping heck. Well, I'm going to get some penetrating oil on this and let it soak for a bit, because that is super tight. Worst case scenario, we can get like a Dremel disc in there and just cut the bolt in half and it'll pop off. But then you've got to get the other half of the bolt out the back of it, and that could be challenging because there's no access to the back of it. So I'll try and get it out in one piece, hopefully. Let's get an old cloth, because it's going to get stinking of release agent shortly. I mean, technically I could probably get it in my stand as it is, but it's not right, is it? So that's presuming the seat post moves. I might have to order another can of PB blasters. It's getting a bit low, but it's really expensive in the UK. You can't get it, unfortunately. It's all imports. Well, I'll leave that soaking for a bit, and hopefully it'll free it up. Not much I can do until I get it clamped in the stand, unfortunately. You can't really get heat either, because obviously it's a carbon frame. You don't want to be getting too hot around here, because it's going to transfer into the carbon here. Got it. Whoa. How do or die that was, flipping heck. Got it. Well, that's off. But does the seat post move? Yes, it does. Good. Right. I'll get this back in here now. Some anti-seize on there. So obviously we've got to look at this, but to be honest, I'm just going to strip everything off the frame first, give everything a good clean and see what we're dealing with. This is like a 2-minute job in itself, but obviously we've got a lot of other stuff to do. There's quite a bit of corrosion on this frame, unfortunately, underneath the paint, but There's not a lot we can do around that, around the aluminium parts. These drop outs are aluminium bonded in, and the same on the back of the fork is really bad. These Bianchi seem to suffer really, really badly around the fork crown. Almost everyone that I see is really bad around here. I touch that and that's just going to fall off, so I've got to be super careful to try not to make it any worse than it already is. I mean, there's nothing you can do with it other than getting it repainted, but yeah, it's not ideal. I suspect these are sea-solid as well, looking at the state of what I can see. We'll have a look when we get it all off. Chain wear is actually well in spec, we're on about 0.6, but what you tend to find, if something's been in the spokes, it can either be twisted or damaged, so it's not worth the risk. Get a new chain on there. But hopefully that means this cassette is going to work just fine, because I don't have one of these, that's for sure, and they're not the cheapest things. Right, let's get this chain off. It's in a pretty sorry state, the chain anyway, so let's get it off. It's got a twist in here, it's hard to show you on camera, but well, it's more the hanger, but it's definitely got a bit of a twist in it anyway, but look at the state of it. It's seen the road a few times, that's for sure. So we've got a new one. I'm not sure if this has ever shifted gear properly, look at the state of this. Oh my god, this bike's gonna be like a dream when it's done, I'll tell you. Oh, brakes seized as well. Get the wheel out anyway. Well, this bit actually works, it's pretty much seized up on the back brake. Quick release, get your wheel out. Good news is all the big bits, bearing wise, feel good. Bottom bracket feels fabulous. Both the wheels feel really good. Obviously going to pull the headset and get some grease in there, but that feels and sounds really good. So we'll pull it out anyway, just so we can get everything cleaned up. I'm going manual because I can't be bothered to find my 10mm impact bit. Yeah. You loosen it off, it'll get easy, and then once it hits the extractor, it'll get tight again. Just keep going. There you go, it gets tight again there. And it just pulls against the extractor. Hopefully it doesn't pull it out, it'll be fine. And then it'll get pretty easy. The state of this Allen key, it used to be painted grey, so a wee heart Allen key. It had DOT brake fluid left in it for about, and it literally just melted all the paint off, so be careful when you've got DOT brakes, guys. Or better still, fit Shimano. So just pay attention to whatever washers you've got in here. So there'll be a wavy washer, and there'll be a little thin plastic one as well, like that bit there. And needs a bit of a love tap to persuade this one. Oh, that is a good fit. Is there anything on the part that isn't seized? Beginning to wonder. There you go. Tear that as well. And there she's out. I'll just pull out now. I don't think I'm even going to try and get these pedals out. Look at the state of that. I'll have a go, but well. Finally. I got a bad feeling this bike's going to fight me all the way. These cables are all in a sorry state. Most of the bike is, to be honest. It looks good, but I've got a feeling this is going to be a nightmare. But like I say, the wheels are good, so that's a bonus. Let's see if this comes out now. Yeah, that's okay. Saying that's seized in there, look. Didn't turn the bolt, just turn the brake, yeah? Because look how hard it is to turn your Allen key in here, it's just a nightmare. The front one is looking sketchy because of the paint. Let's have a look. Before we get down to the front end, let's get these bits off. Front mech and these bottle cages. Cables are not internal. Bonus. Can't beat a bit of Celeste, can you? It does look fabulous. It really does. Right, that's off. Get these bottle cages out next. They don't need to come off, but just make it a bit easier to clean the frame, plus check that nothing's seized as well. Like that. Fuck. Oh my god. Literally everything. Try this one. I'm not sure this bike's ever been stripped. Oh my god. A bit of PB down there and let it soak in for a minute as well. And this one, can't really get anything behind there. I do really like this Unior, it's got such a nice positive flat head. It just tends to grip anything that's looking or feeling a bit sketchy really nicely. Beast, that's tight, that is. Oh, got ya. Whew. You get started, just work it forwards and backwards just to break the thread a bit more. Cage will come off and we can just unwind them. Like that one. Well, that's spinning the actual riv nut in the frame for sure. That's off. Right, this is actually starting to spin the riv nut in the frame now. So you can either persevere, or with that bottle cage it'll slot up there and you can secure it with this one, but I'll see how I feel. Just pull these out, just seized, brake cable out. Oh my God. Yeah, I think it's fair to say the customer might notice a slight improvement in performance of this bike. Every single one I've seen of these has got such bad paint, it's not even funny. Look at the state of this bolt. Get all the crap out first if you can. We've used an airline before and it's blown the paint off. It's been that bad. Oh, brake's coming off the brake seized to the front of the fork now, which is just useful. Plate here is actually seized to the fork as well, which is nice. The bolt is almost out, but this ain't moving at all, so I'm just gonna tap that through from the back to knock it off there. So the bolt's out, but the brake isn't. So I'll leave the brake attached to the fork for now, drop the fork out the frame, lie the fork flat and just fill this hole with penetrating fluid. So what's the chances of this coming out then, considering the rest of the bike? I'm guessing pretty slim. Off. Oh my God. It's not looking hopeful, guys. Oh my God. Oh my God. Here's me thinking this make a lovely video. It's just gonna be the worst day ever, isn't it? Never mind. Derailleur is the smallest of problems in comparison to some of this now. Nice. Right, I've just had a 2-hour break for something else. I'm coming back to this now. Left it as it was for, see what we got. I don't think it's as bad as it looks actually. Yeah, it's fine. Not bad. I'm going to fill that hole with PB Blaster and just let it sit overnight. Pretty much the end of the day now. I've also got the crank sitting with PB Blaster soaking their way through overnight as well. Anyway, do these bearings come out? No. Pretty sure that is the bearing. There you go. Ooh. Pretty grim, that one. There you go. That is nasty. Oh, yeah, that's probably the original bearing. It still kind of moves, but it doesn't feel the best. I'll put a new one in, I think. Oh my God, look at this. Okay, no problem. Well, I'm just going to have a quick look at these before the end of the day. This is plastic, this will come out. See if they move. If not, I'll give them a good soak and leave them overnight as well. If not, we've got slightly more aggressive techniques available. That's turning. Good. I was sure they were going to be sea-solid, they normally are. Both moving. Right, get them out and get them cleaned up. Right, I'll leave that soaking overnight and the fork and the pedals and come back tomorrow. Big clean up and then we can probably start looking at put it back together hopefully. Okay, next day. Let's see what we've got. See what's unseized itself overnight. Quick look at this. I'm still debating whether to try and drill it out and fit a new one or just use this as a slot and this is the retainer. I'm still debating, guys. Right, I've got to be really careful with this because like I said, I just don't want all this paint flaking off. I'm just looking at it and it's going to flake off. I know it is. It's just so terrible. I still can't get this caliper off. I just need to give the back of that bolt a good whack and hopefully that'll just knock it out. Steerer's clamped in soft jaws. This punch here is a really good fit to the back of the bolt. I can see the bolt through a hole in the fork actually, but I'm just going to give it a bit of a tap and hopefully that just frees it off. See daylight between that and that. I think it's actually the bolt that's seized in the fork, not this plate. Slowly but surely. There we go, finally out. Wow. The corrosion on this bolt there that was holding it into the fork. That comes out, no problem. Good. This is all corrosion on the aluminium part of the fork basically. It's carbon blade bonded, I believe, into an aluminium crown. So you don't see any corrosion on the carbon leg parts, obviously the blades, but all this aluminium. Poof. Every single Bianchi I see with an aluminium fork part here is exactly the same. Right, let's see if this has done anything. Like I say, it's been soaking overnight. So work out which way you're going to go. Imagine this is on the bike. We've got a left-hand thread on the pedal, obviously. So to undo it, we're going to go this way. So I'll put my Allen key in that way, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next, which will hopefully get it out. Crank on the floor like that with the Allen key standing up. Stand on that, and that should give you 65 kilos, honest, of leverage. No chance, that ain't moving. I'll leave this till a bit later. What I'll do is I'll heat this up with a heat gun. Being aluminium, it will expand a lot faster than the steel shaft of the pedal and hopefully free it up quite easily. Normally heat does these quite easily, but I'll come back to that in a bit. It was just worth a try. Give it a bit of a clean up. Well, a lot of a clean up. Pretty sure this is going to polish up quite nicely actually. I've decided to leave this bottle cage here. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze, really, to be perfectly honest. The cage is being held perfectly well with this other bolt here, which does work. There's just so many risks involved with this, with the drill slipping, etc. It's just not worth the squeeze. I'm not a frame builder, frame repairer. Get these cleaned up as best I can as well. So I've just cleaned it all up. There's a fair few marks on it. These might polish out with a bit more heavy duty cutter. The cups have cleaned up nicely. I've got some new bearings to go in there. Got some black oxide bearings to go in there, so we'll get the fork back in now. I'm really reluctant to try and clean this fork because this paint is literally, oh my god, it's so bad. Fork says made in China on your Italian classic. That's in. This one with a drop of grease on its O-ring should hold it together now. Just giving these spaces a light coating of grease inside because there was a lot of corrosion on them. It didn't stick, but I'll clean this bit. I've still got to strip these bars, but I need this to hold it all together. You can even see paint bubbling up underneath, even on the carbon. 2012 this model is, I'm led to believe. Plenty of life left in the old girl, yeah. Threw the wheel in temporarily to get that lined up. That's about right. 5 to 6 Newton meters. Aluminium steel. Right, that looks a bit better, feels good. Grease in the hole and grease on the bolt on the. Too late for that other one, but like I say, the other one will do its work for it, no problem. That's how easy it should be. Move that in, slot it down. Quite like these slotted ones, it does make life a lot easier. I'm sure there's 101 people cursing at me for not trying to drill it out, but like I say, I'm not a frame builder, so, you know, the juice is definitely not worth the squeeze on this one, in my opinion. On a 14-year-old carbon frame. So that will slot into there, drop down, so it can only ever fall down onto that bolt, and this lower one will secure it in place perfectly well. Tighten it up. Not going anywhere, guys. Right, so start putting some bits on now. I've got to strip this tape off these bars as well. I've seen Celeste hoods as well, that's nice. In pretty good condition as well, they'll clean up. Get some fresh cables, cable outers, everything's getting changed on this. Cranks in, new rear mech with a new dropout, front mech, chain, new chain, bang the wheels in, send it. Right, so I've just run these few bits left through the Ultrasonic, so front mech, both calipers. Obviously we've got no rear derailleur because that's being replaced. Cranks and all that, not a problem. So the 2 barrel adjusters there, we're obviously going to fit some new ones there. These are cheap as chips and they're just well beyond it, so I'll get rid of them. New chain and a new derailleur. The hanger's in here as well. Hopefully it's the right one. I'm sure it is. New derailleur. Good. Right, so we can start throwing the rest of this on. Now the wheels, as I say, are actually in fantastic condition. They're clearly much newer than the rest of the bike. So no real work to do there. Just put them back in. Strip these bars off, get these cables off, put this lot on. I'm not normally a fan of white bar tape, but I think on this bike it's going to suit it. So we'll stick with it. I've got some more white stuff to go on. And it's coming off in one piece, which is a bonus. Enough tape on here, this is all coming off to get to these, so what is this piece here? That's supposed to be covering that bit there. Different way of doing it. I think there's more insulating tape on here than bar tape. Wow. This bike ain't going to know what's hit it. Look at the state of this. Ton of grease in here, and on the threads as well. Screw them in, and then there's a little pin here that you pull out just to activate the spring. Like that. Quick pause just to say thank you to the video sponsor, sportandleisure.com. So when you're in the middle of a job like this, the last thing you want is progress to come to a grinding halt because the part that said it was in stock actually wasn't in stock. And that's why I use Sport and Leisure. They're UK based, their stock levels are live, and if the website says it's on the shelf, it genuinely is on the shelf, ready to go. Order it before 3 PM and it will ship the same day with free delivery in the UK. Next day delivery is only £2.50. A no-brainer, honestly, when you're trying to keep work moving. So they've also updated the discount scheme for the channel. So if you head over to sportandleisure.com/BCR or scan this QR code on the screen, it will generate a unique voucher for 10% off your first order at checkout. If you're buying parts anyway, it's an easy saving. So the link's down below, and a massive thanks again to sportandleisure.com for continuing to support the channel. And let's get back to this. I think we'll throw this in there. Like I say, I've cleaned this up the best I can without every single piece of paint just falling off. This is the remains of the dropout. I left it in there so I could clamp the wheel in actually while I was waiting for parts. Right, moment of truth. Looks good to me. Good. So there's some new bolts on there as well with just a bit of Loctite on them. This is alive. And a new derailleur. Stand is squeaking, sorry. That looks a bit healthier now. Cool, right. I don't know why my stand started squeaking so much, sorry. I think it's this bolt here that's just coming a bit loose. It's pretty tight. I think ultimately I'm going to need a new one at some point, but they're quite pricey. Not a stand, you can buy just the head. It's about 230 odd pound, but fantastic bit of kit, honestly. Just the best. Get this crank back in now as well. And just remember all of these came off. I've cleaned these in the Ultrasonic as well, so they come up quite nice. The clear one looks brand new. Don't forget your AV washer. 38 to 41 Newton meters they want for this. My port Allen key. So once they get the bike on the ground, I'll get some heat, as I say, on these pedals and see if we can get them out just to get some grease in there, but they might be a permanent fixture now. I've gone in the middle at 39.5. This is easy on the floor, by the way, but it'll be alright. There you go. Not too bad at all, that. Front mech next. You can literally see the exact dent in the frame where this used to be, so it's a good ballpark to get you going. Might need a slight tweak, but it should be pretty good. Just check that for parallel on that chain-ring now before I finally tighten it. That looks perfect. On a carbon frame, so let's not go bonkers like that. Guess we forgot to re-lubricate it. To be honest, it's probably easier when it's on the frame because you can manipulate it. Just blast that in there, and then we're just going to move this in and out. You can't really do that when it's on the bench particularly easily. Nice. Flying through it now. Right, let's get these brakes on. Paint. Every time I look at it, this paint looks worse. Oh my god. Operation don't knock the paint off. Flipping heck. I think if this was my bike and I was keeping it, I'd probably look for a plain black carbon fork to replace this with some sort of nice weave showing. It looked quite good. Again, forgot to lubricate these. I must be half asleep today. They've been through the Ultrasonic, so we just need to give them a bit of a blast. So cover the pads and just manipulate them in. Feel very good. I do like these FSA calipers, they look really nice. I'm just going to get some in this quick release as well because the back one's a bit sticky. This one's okay at the moment. So I hold the actual bolt and manipulate this. They should be independent. So before we put the back brake on, just a couple of issues. This bit here is stuck. Hopefully not too badly, but they come out fairly easy. There you go, that's the first one. And this piece here should move independently to that lever. Currently it is moving together. I have put some penetrating fluid in there, but it's not done the trick. So we're going to take this bolt out and see if we can clean them up. Actually a Torx by the looks of it, not an Allen key. There you go. Well, nasty as well. Flipping heck. Right, apologies. Camera broke. That piece literally just fell to pieces. So I've scavenged one off, another brake, and that's doing exactly as it should now. Good. Right, let's finally go back on the bike. So that bit cracked on there, so that was the issue. You can't use that. Potentially it would still work, but you can't mess around with brakes, can you? So it's in there. The bolt's already in the frame, on the nut, should I say. Keep calling it a bolt, it's a nut. Spin that on, get it centered. Okay, good. So it's been in the Ultrasonic, came out literally like brand new, so I'll just reassemble this onto the wheel. So wheel wise, absolutely nothing. I think these are way newer than the rest of the bike. They're in really nice condition. So I'll just give these a quick wipe down, put that cassette back on, and we can go back in the bike. Right, wheels are cleaned up, nothing exciting to see there. Actually really good condition. Let's centre this up a bit, because obviously it's miles out. Should be okay, we'll get some cables on shortly. Cassette cleaned up beautifully, look at that. Again, just roughly centre this brake a bit better. Actually wasn't far off. Okay, now we can put a chain on and then some cables. So just before we put the chain on, just got to check these limit screws because we're on a new derailleur. That height is pretty much exactly where it should be. Thank you Campag for not marking them. No, they're definitely not JIS, are they? These Italian standard, not Japanese. Well, that should be enough. Tiny adjustment up to the biggest sprocket. That is way too much. So just set those before you put the chain on. You can just pull it up to the range and you can look directly behind and see very easily where it's lining up with the pulley and the sprocket. Dead easy. I can't really get a camera in there to show you, but it's not rocket science. Just get it in a straight line. Put this chain on. It's a KMC chain, lightweight one, hollowed out and everything. The guy ain't gonna recognise this bike, I'll tell you. Flipping heck. Lovely. Well, that's certainly looking a lot healthier than it did when it came in. I think you'll agree. Looking really, really good actually. Right, we're going to chuck some cables on it now and then wrap the bars and then we're done. I don't keep much white housing, but I've got enough for this, that's good. So what I'm going to do is just match up all these derailleur sections and brake sections, chop them all up, and then we'll get threading them up onto the bar and frame. Which is which. I'll tell you, this white stuff picks up dirt so easily, Jesus. It's literally brand new and it looks 10 years old. I hate these Campag levers. There's like 2mm of engagement for this housing. I'll keep that tight when I get that first bit on there. I'm just going to need to put 64 miles of tape on here to match the old stuff. Because there's bulge here, that's enough. I always take my gloves off when I'm working with tape and stuff like that. It's just easier. Okay. That one done. That's front derailleur, goes down to there. And the rear brake cable I've already put into the frame. The UK guys, that's why it's on that side before somebody starts doing it on the wrong side. Okay. I've got my apron on today. I always forget to wear it, I don't know why. It's very useful. I think this is made by Muck-Off actually. I've debadged it though, but it's actually really nice quality. Okay. Step one. Again, that's a derailleur cable there, goes to the frame. You need to put an end cap on there, and the front brake cable there. So just get some end caps on these. Get these on. I don't have any white ones. I'm not even sure they make them in white, I'll be honest. Probably get them on AliExpress, I'm guessing. I'll have a look. That's good length for everything there. Pretty good. Rear. Right, need some cables. The Campag, you literally just thread it up here. Make sure you're in the right gear, obviously, and then it comes out there. These are Clark stainless steel die drawn that are allegedly compatible with Campag. The size of the head is very slightly different on Campag, but these fit in my experience. I have had one where it wasn't happy, but generally they're okay. And brake cables. The same for the back one, obviously. Look at that, straight in the hole. Oh, that's front end done. Let's put this rear cable under the bottom bracket guide. I can't see. Look at that. Bike's that clean, I don't even need gloves now. Last piece of new housing, look how smooth that is. Literally just almost fall off if it didn't have a curve in it, which is what you need. Zero friction in these. That through there. Well, we're getting somewhere now, guys. It's potentially a bit long, but it's the same length as the one that came off, but yeah, it'll be fine. And this last piece of brake housing as well. Right, let's just connect this up to get it in the right place. I'll try that lever. A little bit long. Not too bad. Same on front. Not bad. I've got to give it a quick final wipe down. These are just some greasy fingerprints left over. It ain't going to get much better than this, unfortunately. Right, I'm just going to fold these to where they should be for now while we're setting the gears up, otherwise it just gets tangled up with that. Hopefully these will clean up a bit as well with some zip. I think they will. Just connect this front one underneath here as well. And through here. Yeah, perfect. Nice. That's both of those there, basically. Still got to get these pedals off, don't I? I forgot. Never mind, they can wait. Right, let's see how that goes. Looks plausible. Connect this up to the shiny new one. Okay, that's plausible as well. Look at that. Right, I'll trim these up now. So just going to get in the way. So with a bit of luck, we might be able to change gear now. Up to there. There's a squeak somewhere. So they're kind of working, but they've got a hell of a squeak coming down here. Get this chain off. Yeah, won't break it. It's gone squeaky-o. Can't leave it like that, guys. Oh, new bearings. That's annoying, isn't it? That's what we're about there then. The gear's not too bad there, a couple of little tweaks and they'll be fine. But this has got a hell of a squeak on it. My watch will just sawed it in half nearly. Didn't do that earlier, that's annoying. So we're on a BB30, so hopefully I can just change the bearings out on this one. Ah, it's that non-drive side now. Suddenly decided to start squeaking, thank you. Let's just spin it around and see what we've got. This BSC puller should make very light work of this. I'll hook it behind the bearing basically. Screw that on there. This is nylon so it doesn't damage the frame. It's not already got a lot of damage. And I'll just pull the bearing straight out like that. Don't get much easier than that. And there's the bearing that's decided you don't want to play anymore. Let's get a new one. I'm just going to change them both. A lot of Enduros. Get this cleaned up. There's a big circlip in there you can just take out just to clean up any rubbish in here, but it looks okay. I'll just take it out anyway. A little spring clip on this one like that. Clean that up a bit. I'll just work this other side out, get them both changed out. 2 seconds. Again, another BSC tool, just to press these straight back in. Really good kit. I'm not sure if you can get this kit in the States. I know it's obviously a UK company, but I don't know if they export or not, I'm not sure. If they do, I'd recommend it. It's a really nice kit. Not sponsored, probably should be the amount of stuff I use on this. Never mind. I'll just push straight in up to that clip and stop. Like that. Every time I'll drop that. Every single time. A bit of extra grease on here for weather protection. Leave your washer and the crank. Again. Okay. Right, that's that issue resolved. Silence. Didn't take long, did it? So on Campag you don't really get a B tension, you get this screw here which does very similar position. It moves this cage around there. I'll show you on the old one. That's the old one there, so that's that screw here. And you have a ratchet that will pivot around here and that'll adjust the position. So this is the old one, this is set way more open. So I'll just close that down to similar to the old one. Pretty sweet, that is. Still jumping down there. Why are you doing that? Not fair. Oh, it's behaving now. Just put a squirt of lube in the actual gear lever because it was just consistently skipping this sprocket here, so it had to be a gear lever problem. No, it's working lovely. Go down. It was skipping from there, it just missed that sprocket completely. And now I've lubed that lever, it's staying where it should be. That's all good. And that's the front as well. Happy days. Right, gears are done. Yeah, all I did there is basically peel this back and squirt a load of lube in basically every orifice you can find. There's one there, one there, one there, and instantly skip that issue where it's skipping that sprocket. So it'll just be a little bit gummed up in here over 14 years or so. But that's working now. I think we've just got to wrap the bars, clean these up, and we're done. Yeah, that's cleaned up, no problem. I thought they were actually in really, really good condition. I bet they're not easy to get in this colour now. Right, let's peel these back and get them wrapped up. Can't stop cleaning it now, sorry. On the saddle. Not bad. I don't normally use these, but on Campag I do find it these hoods just a little bit short, so I'm going to just tuck this behind just to give me a little bit of extra coverage. Well, I'll clean my hands, they're spotlessly clean, but well, I'll normally really do anything I can to persuade people to put white on, but I think it's actually really going to suit this bike quite nicely, so I'll make an exception. Not too bad at all, actually. I'll give you a black end plug, but I'm not sure about that. Doesn't seem right. Never mind. Some Celeste ones would be nice, wouldn't they? Anyway, it's in. I'm just going to trim this up and put some white tape on it. It cut very well, does it? Maybe I need some better scissors. I say white, it's more of a cream than a white. It's not a very good colour. I'll have to use the finishing tapes on this one. I use this finishing tape because that tape is not very white. So if this is still attached in the morning, normally it's just total rubbish. With a bit of YouTube magic, I'll get this other side wrapped up like that. So the only thing left now is try and get these pedals cracked off, put some grease on, put them back on again. Very, very, very tight. Alright, I've got smoke, so that's always a sign. There you go. Heat always wins. No problem. Get this out, get it cleaned up and get some grease in there. Jesus, it's still tight. Nice. Never seen a drop of grease in its life, that ain't. Right, just run this pedal tap through here, get some grease in, get it back in. Thread's pretty good actually, see some rubbish coming out still, but not too bad. Okay, I'll just repeat the same on the other side and I'm done. We're all done. Tame the beast finally. I put up a bit of a fight this one, I'm not going to lie. That pedal was even tighter than the one I showed you, but hey, we got there. Gears are done, brakes are done. Cosmetically, not too bad actually, apart from that fork obviously, but what can you do? Other than forking out the value of the bike in a respray on the fork, it's just simply not worth it. I'd let the customer know it's ready for collection. Hope you enjoyed it. It was interesting for me. A few bits and pieces outside of the norm, which is always a bit of a challenge and makes it more interesting. That's the sort of thing we like to watch, isn't it? Thanks. Anyway, if you did enjoy it, if you've not already done so, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really does help the channel. Like, share, hype, all that great stuff. You know the score. Anyway, thanks for watching guys and girls, and I will see you again next week.